President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow. Your Excellency, welcome. National anthem, may we remain standing. May we remain standing for the Commonwealth Women Anthem. Thank you. You may resume your seats, Your Excellency, sir. May I now invite Honorable Alhaji Babu Sise to lead this assembly into Muslim prayers.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم خير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب بدرجة اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومن قدر عظيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلم تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام سلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you. Amen. May I now invite Honorable Okupa to lead us in the Christian prayer.
Almighty God, we gather here today in gratitude for the gift of life, peace, and the spirit of unity that binds us together as members of the Commonwealth family. We thank you for bringing us safely to this 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Conference in the Banjul, Gambia. Bless the President of the Republic of Gambia, our gracious host, and all leaders gathered here with wisdom, understanding, and a heart for service. Grant us the humility to listen, the courage to speak the truth, and the resolve to act justly for the good of our people. May our deliberations be guided by integrity, respect, and a shared vision for democracy, human rights, and sustainable development. Strengthen the bonds of friendship between our nations so that together we may build a future of peace, prosperity, and hope. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Mr. President, before you this morning are honorable members of parliaments drawn from 19 Commonwealth countries in Africa, under the leadership, of course, of the Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, who doubles as President of the CPA Africa region. The delegates are converged in Banjul for the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa Region Conference. And they have converged in Banjul under the theme Strengthening Democratic Governance and Resilience in Africa, Tackling Conflict, Economic Shocks, and Climate Change. Without much ado, I have the singular honor to invite the Assistant Regional Secretary of the CPA Africa region to formally introduce the delegates of the 54th CPA Africa Regional Conference. Mr. Daniel Olufo, please.
Your Excellency, Mr. Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, Right Honorable Jata Fabakar Tombong, MP, President of CPA Africa Region, and the Speaker of the Parliament of the Gambia, Right Honorable Catherine Gotanhara, MP, Vice President of CPA Africa Region, and the Chairperson of CPA Africa Region Executive Committee, and by extension, the Speaker of Parliament of Malawi, Honorable Dr. Christopher Kalila, Chairperson of Executive Committee of CPA International, Members of Parliament of the Gambia, Ministers, distinguished delegates, members of the Diplomatic and the Consular Corps, Clerks of Parliament, and the members of the SOCAT, Mr. Stephen Twigg, Secretary General of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Mr. Jarvis Matia, Deputy Secretary General of the CPA, headquarters, based in headquarters in London, regional secretariat officials, staff of parliaments, accompanying officials and spouses, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, the guest of honor, the CPA Africa region is composed of 19 national branches and 45 subnational branches. This 54th regional conference is being attended by 15 national branches and 16 subnational branches. It is now my singular honor and a privilege to introduce the distinguished delegates who are in our midst as follows. I start with the office bearers or officers of the association. In the first place, I introduce Right Honorable Jata Fabakary Tombong, MP, President of CPA Africa Region. I also wish at this juncture to introduce Right Honorable Catherine Gotanihara, MP Malawi, Chairperson, Executive Committee and Vice President of the CPA Africa Region, since Malawi is to host the next AGM. I also wish to introduce Honorable Abdul Suleiman Murray Conte, MP Sierra Leone, Vice Chairperson of Executive Committee. I also wish at this juncture to introduce Honorable Enos Asimwe, MP Uganda, Treasurer of CPA Africa Region. Our Treasurer is in our midst. Yes, there he is. Honorable Ndagiza Madina, MP Rwanda, Chairperson of Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians. Your Excellency, the guest of honor, I also wish to introduce honorable speakers, deputy speakers, and the heads of delegations who are in our midst. As I said earlier, I have introduced Right Honorable Jata Fabakary Tombong, Speaker of Parliament of the Gambia and head of delegation. And as well, I have already introduced Right Honorable Catherine Gotanihara, MP, Speaker of Parliament of Malawi and head of delegation. I also wish to introduce Honorable Sejepo Solomon Thomas, MP, Speaker of the Parliament of Sierra Leone and head of delegation. Your Excellency, the guest of honor, allow me to introduce Right Honorable Lucas Sinimbo Muha, MP, Chairperson of the National Council of Namibia and head of delegation. Your Excellency, I also wish to introduce Right Honorable Refilwe Mutsweni Sipane, MP, Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces and the head of delegation of South Africa. Your Excellency, alongside the speakers whom I have just introduced, we have honorable deputy speakers in attendance. So may I, at this juncture, introduce Honorable Mary Muyali Boya, MP, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Cameroon and head of delegation. I have also the pleasure of introducing Honorable Sukutane Ayu, MP, Vice President of the Senate and head of delegation, Parliament of the Kingdom of Lesotho. Your Excellency, may I now introduce Honorable Gladys J. Boss, MGH, MP, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Kenya and head of delegation. May I also introduce Honorable Helen Pushi Munyeneng, MP, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana and head of delegation. I have also the pleasure of introducing Honorable Bernard I hail for MP, First Deputy Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana and the head of delegation. Your Excellency, may I now introduce Senator Mohammed Muntari Danduse, head of delegation of Nigeria. May I at this juncture introduce Honorable Sebastio Avelino Musahene, MP, head of delegation of Mozambique. Your Excellency, may I introduce Honorable Elijah Okuba, MP, head of delegation of Uganda. Your Excellency, may I now introduce Honorable Maui Kikumalo, MP, head of delegation of Eswatini. Your Excellency, I have the pleasure of introducing Honorable Bernard Ahiefo, MP, First Deputy Speaker and head of delegation Ghana. It's a repetition for the second time. Yes. But Honorable, Your Excellency, the guest of honor, as I said earlier, this 58th, the opening ceremony is also graced by the presence of our colleagues from the CPA headquarters or CPA International in London. So I wish at this juncture to introduce Mr. Stephen Twigg, Secretary General. I also wish to introduce Mr. Jarvis Matia, Deputy Secretary General. Your Excellency, allow me now to introduce honorable speakers of subnational legislatures or states legislatures. May I introduce Honorable Cheroman A. Buba, MP, Speaker and Head of Delegation of Yobe State Legislature, Nigeria. May I also introduce Honorable Danied Jatau, MP, Speaker and Head of Delegation, Nasarawa State Legislature. I wish at this juncture to introduce Honorable Dr. Mudashiru I. Obasa, MP, Speaker and Head of Delegation of Lagos State Legislature. Your Excellency, may I introduce Honorable Hyacinth Aodona Dajo, MP, Speaker and Head of Delegation of Benue State Legislature in Nigeria. May I also recognize the presence of Honorable Jamilu Umaru Dahiru, MP, Speaker and Head of Delegation of Bauchi State Legislature. Your Excellency, may I also introduce Honorable Biliamuni Ismail, MP, Speaker and Head of Delegation of Zamfara State Legislature. Your Excellency, we have Honorable John Kizito Bonzena, MP, Speaker and Head of Delegation of Taraba State Legislature. May I also introduce Honorable Abdullahi Musa Askira, MP, Deputy Speaker and Head of Delegation of Bono State Legislature. May I introduce Honorable Nontembeko Nothemba Bois, Member of Provincial Legislature, Speaker and Head of Delegation, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. May I introduce Honorable Nawesene Klase, MP, Speaker and Head of Delegation of Northern Cape, Provincial Legislature, South Africa. May I at this juncture introduce Honorable Dr. Despo Mohono, MP, Speaker and Head of Delegation, Northwest Provincial Legislature, South Africa. Your Excellency, may I introduce Honorable Helen Souls August, MP, Speaker and Head of Delegation, Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature. Your Excellency, may I introduce Honorable Morakane Mosiopio, MP, Mosiopioe, Speaker and Head of Delegation, Gauteng Provincial. Your Excellency, I wish to introduce Honorable Mamorobela Tebogo Potia MP, Deputy Speaker and the Head of Delegation of Limpopo Provincial Legislature. Your Excellency, may I also introduce Honorable Lindy Masina Letie MP, Speaker and the Head of Delegation of Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature. I wish Your Excellency at this juncture to introduce Honorable Reagan Allen MP, Deputy Speaker and the Head of Delegation of Western Cape Provincial Legislature. Your Excellency, last but certainly not least, may I introduce Honorable Nalita Ndugane MP, Deputy Speaker and the Head of Delegation of Free State Provincial Legislature. Your Excellency, as I intimated earlier, we have 16 branches, national branches, represented in this 54th conference. May I now request each of the branch delegates from each of the branch to rise, as I mentioned, their branches in alphabetical order. Botswana CPA branch, wherever you may be. Cameroon, Eswatini, Ghana, Kenya, Lesotho, the Kingdom in the Sky CPA branch, Malawi CPA branch, ably represented by our chair here, Mozambique CPA branch, Nigeria, in the first place, when I was mentioning the countries or their leaders. Rwanda CPA branch, Sierra Leone, South Africa CPA, our gracious host, the Gambia. So I speak to Zambia.
The leader of Zambia.
In the first place.
Then maybe they didn't hear. They just notified me now. I'm not maybe they said the deputy speaker.
Uganda CPA branch. Last but certainly not least, Zambia CPA branch. In the same spirit, I now wish to introduce delegates from state legislatures. Yobe State Legislature, Nigeria, wherever you may be seated. Nasarawa State Legislature. Head of delegation. Lagos State Legislature. Benue State Legislature, Bauchi State Legislature, Nigeria, Zamfara State Legislature, Taraba, Bono State Legislature, they are there, Katsina State Legislature, KwaZulu-Natal, no, the speaker is Eastern Cape State Legislature, Gauteng Provincial Legislature, Limpopo, Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, Western Cape Provincial Legislature, Northwest Provincial Legislature, South Africa, Northern Cape Provincial Legislature, and the Free State Provincial Legislature. Your Excellency, we have also regional secretariat officials who are headquartered in Tanzania, in Dodoma, the United Republic of Tanzania. They are there. But we have clerks of parliament and the members of the SOCAT, if they could all rise. We have accompanying officials, all accompanying officials from various branches in the region. Yes, so this is from Zambia.
Deputy Speaker of Zambia and Deputy Speaker of Namibia.
Yes.
Zambia said you only mentioned the brand, you did not recognize that.
Is Philippos?
Philippos Victor Catamelo.
Yes. Your Excellency, my apologies. May I introduce Honorable Philippos Veta Catamelo, Deputy Speaker from Namibia, the National Council. And may I, at this juncture, with your apologies, introduce the head of delegation from CPA Zambia branch, Namboses. Your Excellency, thank you so much. And now I hand over to the Director of Ceremonies.
Thank you. And Your Excellency, equally in our midst this morning is our Lord, the Chief Justice of the Republic of the Gambia, thus demonstrating that Gambia does not only live, but is a shining example of the ideals of the Commonwealth. CJ, you are most welcome. Your Excellency, sir, when members of Parliament comes to Parliament, they are received by the clerk, who welcomes, and not only welcome, but make them feel at home, because the House is the home of honorable members. On that note, I therefore invite the Clerk of the National Assembly of the Gambia, Mr. Khalifa M.M. Bai, to welcome his honorable members.
Your Excellency, Mr. Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, Right Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta, and of course, President of the CPA Africa region, my Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of the Gambia, Right Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of Malawi, and of course, the Chairperson of the CPA Executive Committee of Africa region, distinguished honorable speakers, deputy speakers, honorable members of parliament across the Commonwealth of Africa, honorable ministers here present, the Right Honorable Chairperson of the Executive Committee of CPA International, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, the Secretary General of the CPA International, senior government officials present, esteemed development partners, and of course, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and a very warm welcome to the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa. On behalf of the staff of the National Assembly, and of course, indeed, on behalf of the entire National Assembly of the Republic of the Gambia, it is a privilege to extend our heartfelt greetings to all delegates and participants as we commence the 54th Conference of Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Africa Region. We are truly honored to be your hosts this morning for this significant and, of course, historic gathering. For generations, the Gambia has prided itself on its legendary hospitality and its enduring commitment to peaceful coexistence and collaboration. We sincerely hope that throughout your stay, you will not only participate in enriching and productive deliberation, but also find time to enjoy the warmth of our people, the depth of our cultural heritage, and of course the serenity of our natural beauty, which is called the smiling coast of Africa. And this is by no mistake when the Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, in Seychelles, when the Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta, attended the 88th ESCO meeting, he took an undertaking before you, honorable members, that we will deliver an annual conference that is second to none. And here we are today. At this point, I wish to express our profound gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, for his leadership and generous, and I underline generous, logistical support provided to ensure a successful hosting of this important event here in our capital, Banjul. Equally, I wish to sincerely acknowledge the unwavering moral support and leadership guidance of the Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, Right Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta, under whose stewardship this event has taken shape. This year's conference convenes at a critical time where the chosen theme, strengthening democratic governance and resilience in Africa, tackling conflicts, economic shocks, and climate risk, is both timely and urgent. It resonates deeply with the pressing realities we face across the continent, Africa, and the sacred responsibility entrusted to us as custodians of democratic governance. Our parliaments now more than ever are called upon to respond with wisdom, courage, and unity to the evolving challenges confronting our nations. Whether it is the impact of climate change, economic instability, or conflict, these threats demand coordinated action, mutual learning, and of course, unwavering leadership. As Clerk of the National Assembly of the Republic of the Gambia, I reaffirm our commitment to ensuring that the institution of Parliament remains a strong enabler of effective lawmaking, oversight, and representation. We remain resolute in our support to parliamentarians, facilitating a space where robust, evidence-informed debate can shape the policies and systems that will transform our societies. Let this conference be a beacon of what we can achieve together, a testament to the power of collaboration, and a renewal of our shared vision for a more resilient, peaceful, and democratic Africa. Once again, welcome to the Republic of the Gambia. May our deliberations be impactful, our engagement meaningful, and your stay truly memorable. I thank you very much. Jërë ngeen jëf. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Excellency, sir, in our midst this morning equally is the Right Honorable Dr. Christopher Kalila, President of CPA International. And it will interest you to know that our very own Right Honorable Speaker Jatta spearheaded the campaign to ensure that the presidency of CPA is secured by Africa. That was a pledge he made in Arusha when he was elected president of the CPA Africa region. And he led the Africa caucus to the CPC in Sydney and delivered the presidency to Africa. I now humbly invite the Right Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta, Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, to deliver a statement.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, my Lord, the Chief Justice, the Right Honorable Golani Hara, the Chairperson of the Executive Committee of CPA Africa Region and Speaker of the Parliament of Malawi, Right Honorable Christopher Kalila, Chairperson of CPA International, distinguished honorable speakers and heads of delegations from parliaments across Africa, honorable members of parliament here in present, Mr. Stephen Twigg, Secretary General of CPA International, Mr. Ukatia, Assistant Regional Secretary of CPA Africa Region, Clerk and staff of the National Assembly of the Gambia, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, representatives of regional and international organizations, esteemed members of civil society and the media fraternity, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. It is with deep honor and gratitude that as Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, I welcome you all to Banjul, the Gambia, for the 54th Annual Conference of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association African Region. Equally, as the President of CPA African Region, I am truly humbled to host this important event which brings together distinguished parliamentarians from across the continent to reflect, deliberate, and act on some of the most pressing issues of our time. To our esteemed delegates who have traveled from far and wide across our beloved country and from other parts of the Commonwealth, we say Al-Nimbara in Mandinka, thank you. Welcome to the smiling coast of Africa. We hope your journey was pleasant and that your stay with us will be both productive and memorable. Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished delegates, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa Region aims to promote and protect the interests of its members, of its member parliaments and countries within and beyond the Commonwealth. Its core objectives revolve around strengthening parliamentary democracy, good governance, and human rights across the African continent. By focusing on these objectives, the CPA Africa region plays a vital role in strengthening democratic institutions, promoting inclusive societies, and advocating for the collective interests of its members on the African continent and globally. The theme for the 54th Commonwealth Conference, Strengthening Democratic Governance and Resilience in Africa, Tackling Conflict, Economic Shocks, and Climate Risks, is both timely and urgent. It speaks directly to the challenges that are confronting our nations today and the critical role that African parliaments must play in ensuring a just, peaceful, and sustainable future. In fact, there is no better place to converge under such a theme than here in Banjul, the Gambia, a country that serves as a bastion of democracy, human rights, and rule of law in the African continent. Conflicts in its many forms, from political instability and violent extremism to the communal tensions, continue to undermine development gains and human security. At the same time, our economies remain vulnerable to external shocks, including inflation, debt burdens, and global market volatility. Climate change, perhaps the defining crisis of our era, is compounding these challenges, deepening poverty and displacing communities. These issues are interconnected and deeply political. They demand not just executive solutions, but robust parliamentary engagement through legislation, oversight, and policy innovation. Your Excellency, honorable colleagues, democratic governance must be more than procedural. It must be resilient, inclusive, and transformative. Parliaments must not only safeguard constitutionalism and accountability, but also anticipate the long-term needs of our societies, especially those most vulnerable. As leaders entrusted with public confidence, we must ask ourselves, are our institutions responsive enough to mediate conflict and build peace? Are our economies structured to withstand external shocks and deliver equitable growth? Are our laws and policies forward-looking enough to mitigate climate risks and protect future generations? These questions should guide our reflections throughout this conference. Your Excellency, distinguished delegates, in the face of these formidable challenges, the role of parliaments as institutions of democratic governance becomes more critical than ever. We as parliamentarians are the direct representatives of our people. We are the custodians of their aspirations, the amplifiers of their voices, and the architects of the legislative frameworks necessary to build resilient and prosperous societies. This entails ensuring transparency, accountability, and inclusivity in all aspects of public life. It means upholding the rule of law, protecting human rights, fostering vibrant multi-party democracies, and ensuring that our institutions are robust enough to withstand pressures and serve the public interest. Parliaments must exercise effective oversight over the executive, scrutinize budgets, especially in the social sectors, and ensure that public resources are utilized efficiently and equitably. Resilience is our ability to anticipate, absorb, adopt, and transform in the face of shocks and stresses. For parliaments, this means enacting progressive legislation that promotes economic diversification, invests in social safety nets, strengthening disaster preparedness and response mechanisms, and champion sustainable environmental policies. It also means fostering national unity and social cohesion, which are fundamental to ensuring sustainable development, peace, and security. Over the next few days, I urge you to engage in robust and constructive deliberations on how we, as African parliamentarians, can collectively address these and many other issues. In the Gambia, we are acutely aware of these challenges. As a nation, we are committed to consolidating our democratic gains, building a resilient economy, and confronting the impacts of climate change, particularly coastal erosion and unpredictable weather patterns. Our National Assembly is actively engaged in legislative reforms and oversight functions to address these very issues, and we look forward to sharing our experiences and learning from yours. Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished delegates, the eyes of our continent are upon us. The people we represent look to us for leadership, for solutions, and for hope. This conference provides a unique platform for us to share best practices, forge stronger partnerships, and collectively chart a path towards a more peaceful, prosperous, and resilient Africa. Let our deliberations be guided by wisdom, our decisions by courage, and our actions by deep commitment to the well-being of all Africans and the Commonwealth in general. I have no doubt that the outcomes of the 54th CPA Africa Region Conference will significantly contribute to strengthening democratic governance and resilience across our beloved continent. To conclude, I would like to express my immense gratitude to Excellency the President, Mr. Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, and the entire Gambian government for their support towards the successful hosting of the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa Region Conference. The commitment shown by President Barrow, even with his presence to grace the official opening of this landmark event, despite his busy schedule, underscores the Gambia's dedication to strengthening parliamentary democracy and fostering regional cooperation. This conference, being hosted for the first time by the Gambia, is a testament to the government's unwavering support and vision for a more integrated and a democratically robust Africa. The collaborative efforts of the Gambia government under the distinguished leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow have been instrumental in ensuring that all preparations are meticulously handled, setting the stage for a productive and memorable gathering of parliamentarians from across the African continent. The President and his government's steadfast support is truly the cornerstone of this conference's anticipated success. Thank you, Your Excellency. My profound appreciation also goes to CPA headquarters, the CPA Africa Region Secretariat, and all partners and sponsors for their valuable assistance. To all honorable members of the Gambia National Assembly, Deputy Speaker, Majority Leader, Minority Leader, and all members. To the local organizing committee, our dedicated clerk and staff of the National Assembly of the Gambia, and all volunteers, thank you for your tireless efforts in preparing for this event. Your hard work has not gone unnoticed. We are indeed very appreciative of your efforts. Let us recommit ourselves to the ideals of democratic representation, regional solidarity, and accountable leadership. I thank you for your attention, and I wish you all a successful conference. God bless you all. God bless Africa. God bless the Commonwealth. Thank you very much. Allah barakah.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia. Now I have the singular honor to invite the Right Honorable Catherine Hara, Chairperson of the CPA Africa Region Executive Committee and Speaker of the Parliament of Malawi, to deliver a statement.
Your Excellency Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, Right Honorable Tabog Jatta, MP, President of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, my Lord Chief Justice of the Republic of Gambia, Honorable Dr. Christopher Kalila, MP, Chairperson of the CPA Executive Committee International, office bearers of the CPA Africa Region, honorable speakers and members of parliament and heads of delegation from across Commonwealth Africa Region, Mr. Stephen Twigg, Secretary General of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, clerks of parliaments here present, distinguished delegates, regional secretariat officials, staff of parliaments, accompanying officials, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is with profound honor and gratitude that I stand before you this morning on the occasion of the official opening of the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association CPA Africa Regional Conference. I bring warm greetings from the Parliament of Malawi and from all members of the Executive Committee of the CPA Africa Region. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me at the outset to extend heartfelt appreciation to His Excellency President Adama Barrow for honoring us with his presence and for graciously accepting to officially open this important gathering. Your Excellency, your presence is a testament to the high regard you place on the democratic governance, regional cooperation, and parliamentary engagement in addressing Africa's most pressing challenges. We also commend Your Excellency for your visionary leadership in promoting agricultural transformation in the Gambia. Your government's commitment to improving food security, empowering rural communities, and advancing sustainable agricultural practices serves as an inspiring model for many African nations. Additionally, your dedication to maintaining peace, strengthening democratic institutions, and upholding the rule of law has contributed significantly to the Gambians' growing reputation as a beacon of stability and democratic progress in the region. These are critical pillars for resilience and development, and we applaud your continued efforts in this regard, Your Excellency. Let me also take this opportunity to convey our deepest appreciation to the Parliament and the people of the Gambia, particularly to the Right Honorable Tabog Jatta and his dedicated team for the warm hospitality, excellent arrangements, and the gracious welcome we have received since our arrival in Banjul. Right Honorable Speaker, rest assured that you are supported by an exceptionally highly professional team. Your clerk and the team were very, very, very grateful. Thank you. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in the same vein, I wish to place on record our sincere appreciation to Honorable Babu Sisi, MP, the Gambia, our Executive Committee member, for his unwavering engagement and tireless efforts since the 86th Executive Committee meeting held on 11th March 2024 in Entebbe, Uganda. Thank you very much, Honorable. His dedication and determination have been instrumental in ensuring that this 54th Annual Regional Conference is successfully hosted in the Gambia. Honorable Sise, your commitment reflects the spirit of service and collaboration that we cherish within the CPA Africa region. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, since our arrival in the Gambia, we have experienced firsthand the warmth, charm, and beauty for which this country is best known. From the friendly smiles of its people and the peaceful atmosphere that fills its streets, to the rich cultural heritage, vibrant markets, and the breathtaking River Gambia, every moment here has been memorable. The Gambia's reputation as the smiling coast of Africa. Excellency, we call ourselves Malawi the warm heart of Africa. So I don't know between the warm heart and the smiling coast of Africa. But I'm getting a bit defeated because you first see the smile before you can get to the heart. Gambia truly deserves, and we will carry these fond memories back to our respective countries. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's conference, Strengthening Democratic Governance and Resilience in Africa, Tackling Conflict, Economic Shocks, and Climate Risks, could not be more timely or relevant. Our continent continues to face multifaceted challenges that threaten the foundations of peace, economic stability, and sustainable development. Conflicts, whether internal or cross-border, continue to disrupt lives and reverse development gains. Economic shocks exacerbated by global instability are straining national budgets and worsening inequalities, and climate change continues to impact on African communities, from devastating droughts and floods to food insecurity and displacement. As legislators and representatives of the people, we are uniquely positioned to champion laws and policies that strengthen democratic institutions, promote peace and security, safeguard livelihoods, and build resilience in the face of the adversity. It is therefore imperative that this conference serves not only as a platform for dialogue, but also as piece for shaping actionable strategies that will transform our parliament into true agents of resilience and democratic consolidation. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish also to recognize and thank the leadership of the CPA International under the visionary leadership of my colleague, Honorable Dr. Christopher Kalira, Chairperson of the CPA Executive Committee, and Mr. Stephen Twigg, Secretary General of the CPA, for your continued support and commitment to strengthening the role of parliaments across the Commonwealth is invaluable. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the 54th Regional Conference is taking place ahead of the 68th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference to be held in Barbados from 5th to 12th of October 2025. The conference would discuss diverse topics that are of significance in CPA in general and Africa region in particular. Whereas we have registered milestones towards achieving legal status of CPA, we need to step up efforts to pursue the matter to its logical conclusion. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I am confident that the discussions and deliberations we will have during this conference will inspire renewed energy and collective resolve to rise to the challenges before us. Let us reaffirm our share in fostering inclusive governance and building a resilient Africa that is responsive to the needs of its people. Your Excellency, We are called lawmakers. All of us here, we are called lawmakers as members of parliament. But laws without food is nothing. Laws without jobs is nothing. Laws without shelter is nothing. Time for us to get solutions for our people is now. Your Excellency, we have carried the shoulders and burdens of all African people as members of parliament, and they're expecting us to do things in an unusual manner. They are expecting us to bring them food. They are expecting us to give them the jobs. They're expecting us to give them shelter. It would be sad if we can't bring solutions. Time for us to wait for others to come from other continents and sort out our problems is over. We need to have homegrown solutions for our continent. Honorable Your Excellency the President, I wish you all fruitful engagements and a successful conference. Abaraka.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Now, Your Excellency, with your permission, we will take goodwill messages, and we will be starting with no other than the able Secretary General of the CPA International, Mr. Stephen Twig.
Your Excellency, Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, the Right Honourable Fabakary T. Jatta, Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia and President of CPA Africa Region, my Lord, the Chief Justice of the Gambia, Right Honourable Catherine Gatani Hara, Chairperson of CPA Africa and Speaker of Malawi, the Honourable Dr. Christopher Kalila, Member of Parliament of Zambia, International Chairperson of the CPA, Members of Parliament and Ministers of the Gambia, Members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, Members of Parliament from across the continent of Africa, clerks and SOCAT members, accompanying officials, regional secretariat staff, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great privilege to be here today to bring greetings from CPA headquarters and to be accompanied by my colleague, our Deputy Secretary General, Jarvis Mattia. It is wonderful to be at the 54th Annual Conference of the CPA Africa Region here in this beautiful country of the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa. Thank you very much indeed for your hospitality in hosting this conference. Of course, as we have heard this morning, this conference meets in what is a hugely challenging global context. And your theme for this conference very much addresses the challenges that we all face across the world and that in many ways you face particularly here in the great continent of Africa. Strengthening democratic governance and resilience, tackling conflict, addressing economic shocks, and meeting the risks of climate change. And all of that speaks to the debate we're having across the CPA as we prepare our next strategic plan. The draft plan that we are consulting on at the moment sets out 3 clear objectives for our organisation: to strengthen parliaments, to develop parliaments professionally, and to champion our shared Commonwealth values. And to do all of this with 6 key themes in our head: gender, disability, youth, climate change, and sustainable development. technology, and the needs of smaller jurisdictions. How can the modern CPA have an impact in a world in which multilateral institutions are under increasing threat, in a world in which democracy itself is increasingly under question, and as we've heard so powerfully today from Mr. Speaker, a world in which climate change continues to threaten the very long-term sustainability of our planet and its people. This new strategic plan for the CPA will be for a new Commonwealth Parliamentary Association with a new international legal status. 5 years ago, I was interviewed in London by a panel chaired by the then Deputy Speaker, sadly departed, of Cameroon, the Honourable Emilia Monjowa Lefaka. With that panel appointed me to this role as Secretary General. And I made a promise that my top priority would be to deliver on legal status. I stood before this conference in Abuja, in Nigeria, in 2021, when we were still waiting for feedback from the British government about our request for a new legal status. I stood before you in Freetown, Sierra Leone in 2022, when the signs were not good and the then government had said no to legislation at that time. I stood before you again in Ghana in 2023 at the CPC in Accra, when the government had accepted the case for change but wanted us to do this via a private member's bill, and that sadly didn't work. And then last year in Arusha, Tanzania, I was delighted to bring the good news that the legislation for CPA status was in the King's Speech of the new government of the United Kingdom last July. And today, I'm able to stand here and tell you that that legislation received royal assent in January of 2025. Africa region has played the central role for decades in the CPA in making the case for change in the CPA's legal status, and I thank you for doing so. And by the end of this year, the process will be completed and the CPA will finally have its new international legal status. Well done to everyone who worked so hard over so many years to get us to this positive new place. And of course, this status is not just for its own sake. This status is to enable us to do more, to enable us to do things differently, an opportunity for the CPA to have a stronger voice for parliaments, for parliamentarians, for our shared values in the United Nations, in the Commonwealth itself, and in the regional and sub-regional bodies of our world. In April of this year, the Honourable Shirley Ayakor-Botchway from Ghana took post as the new Secretary General of the Commonwealth. And we are working closely with that new Secretary General, Honourable Botchway, and her team. I am delighted that she has agreed to attend the 68th CPC in Barbados in October. And as Speaker Hara just said, that will be a very important Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference, at which we will agree the new strategic plan for the new status, and we will have important elections for our new Treasurer, Chair of CWP, and Chair of the Commonwealth Parliamentarians with Disabilities Networks. And I'd like to finish today with some thanks. I'd like to thank the outgoing holders of those three positions, two of them from this region. I'd like to thank Honourable Anurag Sharma from India, our outgoing Treasurer, Honourable Zainab Gimba from Nigeria, the outgoing Chair of Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians, and Honourable Laura Kanushu from Uganda. All three of them have acquitted themselves well in their roles over this past 3 years, and I look forward to working with their successors in those three important roles. Last year, at the 67th CPC in Sydney, Australia, we had a hotly contested election for a new chairperson of the CPA. And Honourable Dr. Christopher Kalila, MP from the Zambia, was of course elected as that chairperson. It has been my honour and privilege to work with him over the past 9 months. He certainly hit the ground running, has worked incredibly hard through this first 9 months, as I know he will continue to do for the remainder of his term, and I know that you'll be hearing from him shortly. Finally, can I thank everybody who makes the working of the CPA in this region happen. Can I thank the regional reps who sit on our International Executive Committee, the Regional Executive Committee, the Regional Staff Secretariat. This region is the beating heart of our organisation, and the vibrancy of this conference demonstrates that once more. It is great to be here. I look forward to opportunities over the next 3 days to meet with many of you, and I wish everyone a successful 54th Africa Regional Conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. Now we will receive a goodwill message from no other than the Honorable Chairperson himself, Dr. Christopher Kalila, Chairperson of CPA International Executive Committee.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Your Excellency, Mr. Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, the Right Honourable Jatta Fabakary Tombong, MP, President of CPA Africa Region and Speaker of the Parliament of the Gambia. Please excuse me if I say Zambia instead of Gambia, because I'm from Zambia, but I'll try my best. May I also recognize in our midst His Lordship the Chief Justice, the Right Honourable Catherine Gotan-Hara, who is the current chairman or chairperson of the Africa region, CPA. May I also recognize all the presiding officers who have accepted to attend this very important conference and in our midst. And on account of time, allow me, colleagues and friends, to ride on the protocols that have already been observed by so many speakers that have spoken before me. May I begin first by extending my sincere appreciation to our gracious hosts, His Excellency the President, Mr. Adama Barrow, the Right Honourable Fabakary Tombong, and the colleagues from the Parliament of Gambia for their warm and meticulous organization of this gathering. I say thank you for your work and that of the CPA Africa Regional Secretariat. Let me say what you have done is appreciated very much. Second, many of you will recall that at the last AGM which we held in Arusha, Tanzania, I sat in the podium like many of you are doing today. And because of your collective resolve to put an African at the highest level of our organization, you took a decision to float my candidature as CPA International Chairperson. It was not an easy task,
As you know, many people, especially in this global world, believe that Africa can only be at the tail end. But you proved them wrong. Let me thank you for having campaigned vigorously. And I must say the speakers campaigned the most. So what am I saying? 1 year ago, it seemed like an impossible task, but today I stand before you, speaking as CPA Chair International, and I want to profoundly thank you for that one gesture that you took, and today I stand before you, traversing the Commonwealth, 180 legislators, 56 countries, and about a third of the world's population, thanks to Africa. And I promise to be an able ambassador as I go about the work of CPA. Honorable members, as parliamentarians, we are united by our commitment to democratic governance. So the theme could not have come at an appropriate time, as you have heard from the many speakers, in light of the threats to democracy. So, honorable members, the core principle that underpins the work of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association is our commitment to democracy, our commitment to the rule of law, our commitments to peace and security. One of the tenets in the theme is our resilience in dealing with conflicts, in dealing with climate shocks. These represent some of the work that we do as a Commonwealth family. So congratulations to those that conceived the theme, and I look very much to attending the workshops that will take place tomorrow so I can take notes to be able to understand our collective resolve as African parliamentarians. Speaker Gotani has said that it is high time now we began to solve our own problems. I think that after so many years of independence, we've been to some of the best schools with our colleagues all over the world. There's absolutely nothing that we can't do. I agree with Speaker Gotani that let us now hold the bull by its horn. Let us be a new generation of parliamentarians that are now committed to change the course of history by developing our own continent using our own local solutions. I think that's what I got from Speaker Gotani, and I agree with her entirely. Colleagues, the urgency of our conference theme cannot be overstated. Across the Commonwealth, the fear of democratic backsliding looms large in our own region of African democracies. We face mounting pressure, in some cases, challenges to the independence of our institutions threaten stability. In others, you have inequality, you have unemployment, you have misinformation, which is coming through now, as you all know. This, in some instances, has led to disillusionment of our populations. Democracy is not a one-time event. We must all agree. It is a continuous process of participation. It is a continuous process of accountability and delivery. And it is our role as parliamentarians to ensure that democracies are robust enough to withstand the evolving threats that I referred to. Many of you recall that during our manifesto day in Sydney, I did allude to the fact that during my term I hoped to see a much more united CPA, a stronger CPA, which shall take its place in the new world order. I don't need to remind all of you here, colleagues and friends, that we've been bystanders in world affairs. It is time we must be a part of the world affairs. It is time our voice as Africans must be heard and respected. I would therefore encourage colleagues who are not familiar with CPA's offering to speak to either myself or the Secretariat Stephen Twig and Jarvis, who incidentally, in case many of you may not know, our deputy SG comes from Malawi. So you have a Malawian, you have a Zambian, you have the CWP outgoing chair who's a Nigerian, you have CWP. So I believe that we are slowly beginning to take our place in world affairs. Colleagues, CPA membership is a key tool when looking at how we can uphold and strengthen our democratic institutions. It provides us with a unique platform to have a joint dialogue on national and subnational level and share best practice across the regions in addressing common challenges. Furthermore, with our transition, as you have heard from Mr. Twig, previously we've been operating as a charity under British law. We are now, thanks to your advocacy over many years and your fight, we are now transitioning to a new international legal status, which we hope to have by the end of this year. So the CPA now hopes to provide opportunities for parliamentary representation in international fora, building on the multilateral work many of us are already engaged in. The CPA's work in Africa continues to be both relevant and impactful. I'm sure that many branches present have directly benefited from working with the CPA or being part of one of our programs. From the online parliamentary academy, and I must pause here by really trying to sell this very important aspect of CPA work. So the CPA runs a parliamentary academy whose principal aim is to build the capacity of members of parliament in many aspects of parliamentarism, right from understanding what democracy is all about, to how committees work, to how to engage in a robust, convincing debate, accountability, holding government to account, the rule of law. And this is a self-assessment which you start at your own pace, and at the end of the day, you get a certificate. I encourage many parliaments to take interest in this academy. It's a flagship program that we are running, and from what I've seen, many of those that log in to study are actually not parliamentarians. Probably maybe because we have not done so much to sell this very, very important aspect of our work. Apart from online, we also have at least 2 to 3 residence programs per year. I think we've just finished one in New Zealand. Again, I encourage many of you, colleagues and friends, to participate in this academy so that you see we are in a very evolving world that is moving and changing so fast that I cannot overemphasize the importance of knowledge, especially in the era of artificial intelligence. I am sure you are also aware on benchmarks for democratic legislatures. The CPA does carry out assessments of how our parliaments, how democratic our parliaments are. It would be very good to assess ourselves, to benchmark ourselves to see where we are in relation to others so that we can actually walk the talk. We don't just speak about democracy, but we should be seen to practice by having ourselves assessed. The CPA International does send some of its officers to your parliaments to see in which areas you are lagging or where you can improve. And these benchmarks have been updated. They are aimed at strengthening the functions of parliaments and empowering us as parliamentarians to promote democratic values that drew us in the first place into politics. I would encourage colleagues who are not so familiar with CPA's offering to speak, as I've said, to any of us during the time that we are here. Let me now turn to the second pillar of our discussion, which is economic shocks, very important. The aftershocks of COVID-19, compounded by global inflation and complex debt burdens across the African continent, continue to weigh heavily on African economies. It's a very familiar story to many of us. In Zambia, for example, where I come from, like many of our countries, We've been involved heavily in restructuring our debt burden, which was inherited over many years. We've been managing the triple challenge of one, debt, youth unemployment, and limited fiscal space. Because when you are choked with so much debt, you have very little to spend on various aspects of the economy. So as parliaments, we have a critical role to play in addressing these, in ensuring that we hold our executives to account, and more importantly, ensuring public financial transparency and advocating for legal frameworks that support diversification and regional trade. I'm pleased to inform you that in 2021, our economy was at -4, and within 3 to 4 years, we have managed to structure the debt, stabilize the economy, inflation is dropping, the exchange rate is stabilized, and now economic growth rate is at 4 to 6%. So I look forward to hearing from you, colleagues, how you are supporting your national governments. Very important, because you know government is 3 arms but government. So you can't say, well, me, no, as long as we know it's parliament, the judiciary, and also the executive. We are all part of our government, and we have a responsibility as parliamentarians to support, to make the environment appropriate by passing evidence-based legislation that support economic growth so that we deliver on those promises which we made to our people. So I look forward to hearing how fellow jurisdictions are approaching these issues, particularly in balancing them with protecting and developing other crucial budgets, such as those required for health and also the supply chains. The session later in the week on education, health, and social protection will serve as an opportunity for us to further discuss how, in the context of economic uncertainty, we can ensure accessible and affordable health care and develop strong parliamentary leadership in order to fulfill this, which is a topic of personal importance to me, coming from a medical background. Distinguished members, Africa also stands at the front line of the climate crisis. Whilst our continent contributes the least to global carbon emissions, as you know, we suffer disproportionately, from severe droughts in Southern Africa to erratic rainfall in West Africa. In my country, we experienced the most severe drought ever in history. But we were able to navigate through this. And I want to say that in the last farming season, because we were blessed with so much rain, again we have produced the bumper harvest of grain that the country has never produced before. Distinguished members, we have seen how climate shocks can decimate agriculture, displace families, and negatively impact wider socio-economic instability. Across the continent, climate risks are often catalysts for conflict and migration, burgeoning infrastructure and further jeopardizing potentially fragile systems. At the CPA, it is a challenge central to our work, and particularly that of our small branches. A group of these are a group of smallest parliaments in the Commonwealth who have convened in recent years to examine how they can work together to mitigate against the impacts of climate change. I welcome the CA's efforts in equipping members to champion sustainable legislation at a national level. Honorable members, I would miss if I don't pause to consider the intersectional nature of the topics we are discussing today, many of my colleagues have spoken here before. The women, CWP, very important. The youth, Africa is a youthful continent, as you all know. So we all supposed to look at how we can harness the power of our young people. Africa, as you know too, is endowed with so many resources. There is no reason, therefore, colleagues and friends, why we should not support our national governments to ensure that we harness these resources for ourselves by adding value. It is therefore colleagues and friends, an honor for me that this CPA will serve as shared platform to continue to exchange ideas, to learn from each other, and strengthen democratic and resilient Africa, the Africa that we want. May God bless Gambia and Zambia too. May also God bless Africa. God bless CPA. Thank you very much.
Yes, I would not like to. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And that was the president or chairperson of the CPA International, Dr. Kalila. Now we have been taking too much of speeches, and it is a time for our delegates to not only feel the smiling coast smiles, but equally the smiling melodies that accompanies the coastline. And on that note, I have the pleasure to invite one of Gambia's golden voices, Barhama, to give us some melodies of the smiling coast.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, Barhama. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you for giving us the melodies of the Smiling Coast. Now I think my task this morning is gradually coming to an end. And what I will humbly do is now to call upon the Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia to properly introduce the Chief Guest of Honor. Honorable Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. It's not a difficult job to introduce the President of the Republic of the Gambia. For those of us who witnessed independence to date, those who traversed the various leaderships to date, and are genuine to our conscience, very well know that Gambia, under the leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, is second to none in democracy, rule of law, and good governance. Some of us even go to tease to say, I don't know whether I can be as tolerant as Honorable President Adama Barrow. For us in the legislature, the National Assembly underwent a very serious transformation. And throughout, we all know that parliaments usually are legislative, oversight, and representation. Oversight over the executive arm of government. But throughout the process, His Excellency President Adama Barrow acknowledges the independence of the Parliament. Not only did he acknowledge it, he helps to nurture it, to nourish it, and consolidate it. You are all here to witness once again that despite his busy schedule, but because of the importance of this international conference, from beginning to scratch to the very last moment, President Barrow and his entire government has been very supportive. For your information, our colleagues, Parliament now is an autonomous body. These and many more. That's why I have the These and many more are reasons why I have the singular pleasure and honor to call upon His Excellency President Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, to deliver his speech and declare this workshop open.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. With those nice words and words of wisdom. Today, we are attending a meeting of parliamentarians. We will all agree that today is a day of speeches. I acknowledge your invitation, and I am humbled to be here as your chief guest. The Honorable Speaker of Malawi, I heard you very well. Your message is clear. Your message is strong. Your message is direct. It is high time we look inwards in Africa. It is the only way to move this continent forward to the next level. I call on my colleagues. We cannot now blame the colonialists. We are highly educated. I think we are prepared for the future. Thank you. The Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia and President of the CPA Africa region. The Right Honorable Speakers and heads of delegation from parliaments across Africa. My Lord, the Chief Justice of the Gambia. Honorable members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and the Consular Corps, representatives of regional and international organizations, esteemed members of civil society organizations and the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government and the people of the Gambia, it is with immense pleasure and honor that I welcome you all to the Gambia, Africa's smiling coast. For the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association CPA Africa Region Conference. We are truly honored to host this significant event and trusting that the deliberations here will be impactful and inspiring. Likewise, we encourage our international guests to enjoy their stay with us. Honorable Speaker, the theme for the conference, strengthening democratic governance and resilience in Africa, tackling conflicts, economic shocks, and climate risk, resonates deeply with the aspirations and challenges of every African nation. It is a theme that invites and merits critical reflections on the intricate realities that define the present and potentially may shape the future. It is a powerful call to collective action, urging us to confront our challenges with renewed vigor and determined commitment. As parliamentarians, you are fully aware of the well-known African paradox of poor nations in wealthy lands. Africans are known to inhabit a continent of ample potential to develop rapidly. It is rich in human and natural resources and vibrant in diversity, but navigating a complex landscape of threats, instability, poverty, and uneven development patterns. We have witnessed with deep concern the presence of conflicts and the unfortunate re-emergence of unconstitutional governments in some parts of the continent. These incidents undermine peace, reverse hard-won development gains, and displace millions of people. They remind us that the true development cannot thrive in the absence of mutual trust, hard work, peace, and stability. African economies, most of which are still developing, are extremely vulnerable to unfavorable global economic trends. Rising inflation, external debt burdens, disruptions to global supply chains, and the prolonged socio-economic impact of recent global crisis continue to frustrate our efforts, waste our resources, test our resilience. These shocks can deepen poverty, widen inequalities, and disrupt social structures. The climate crisis is not a distant threat for Africa. It is a lived reality. From the Sahelian droughts that devastates agriculture and rising sea levels that threaten our coast to unpredictable floods that displace thousands. Climate change is intensifying the vulnerability of our nations. It continues to fuel resource scarcity, trigger migration, and in some instances contribute to conflicts and unrest. In the face of such challenges, strengthening democratic governance, building resilience, and ensuring inclusive development and justice are not mere policy options, but also imperatives. Honorable Speaker, democratic governance provides a legitimate framework to address complex and systematic challenges. It ensures that governments remain accountable to their people. Policies are inclusive and decisions are made through transparent processes. Parliaments are the bedrock of democracy, holding the executive accountable, enacting progressive laws, and ensuring that public resources are managed prudently and equitably. As the voice of the people, the Parliament plays an indispensable role in key democratic processes, especially in handling matters of national concern. In the Gambia, my government remains firmly committed to upholding parliamentary independence and strengthening oversight institutions. We believe that a strong parliament is absolutely essential for a strong democracy, with entrenched accountability and transparent procedures protected. Because our collective resilience strengthens us to withstand, adapt to, and recover from the shocks that hit our economy. We constantly seek options to build a diversified economy that can absorb external pressures. Besides developing effective disaster preparedness and response mechanisms, we also invest in social protection systems that shield the most vulnerable. We will continue to foster national cohesion, promote peace education, and empower communities to participate actively in their own development and security. Honorable Speaker, the Gambia is currently on a journey of democratic consolidation, economic recovery, and climate action. We understand firsthand the value of robust institutions, transparent governance, and civic participation. We are thus committed to fostering an environment where peace prevails, opportunities flourish, and communities are resilient to climate and economic threats. Fittingly, therefore, we have established annual regional and national dialogue sessions to build consensus on thematic issues and enhance cohesion through dialogue. To solidify such initiative, this conference offers our countries a crucial learning and sharing platform to craft and act on innovative solutions. As parliamentarians, you are uniquely positioned to translate policy into action, advocate for your consequences, and ensure that the voices of the people are heard at the highest level of governance structures. This is an opportunity for you to compare notes. Distinguished delegates, the tasks before you are immense. So must your collective resolve be intense. The salvation of Africa lies in democratic governance, proper policies and appropriate actions, sustained by peace, stability, and security for all. In line with the values and principles of the Commonwealth, I encourage you to engage in thoughtful dialogue, forge stronger partnerships, and commit to concrete actions that will strengthen democratic governance and build resilience across the continent. I wish you a highly productive conference. With these thoughts on the theme, it is now my honor and privilege to declare the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa Region Conference officially open. May God bless us all.
And may we remain standing for the national anthem. Thank you. We may resume our seats. This is where we will draw the curtain for the official opening of the 54th CPA Africa Region Conference. But before we do, a couple of in-house announcements. The Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly is inviting all delegates to a welcome reception tonight at this very center. And he has humbly asked that all heads of delegations put on their dancing shoe in the evening because the dinner will be the Gambian way. We will now have a family photo, but this will be the order of precedence. We will now allow His Excellency the President and members of the High Table to exit the hall using the right exit. Honorable heads of national delegations, to be accompanied by the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, my Lord the Chief Justice, and the two leaders will exit the hall via the left exit, via my left. And all the rest of us, please, we can use any of the exits, and protocol will assist us to the family photo center. On that note, Your Excellency, with your permission, you may take your leave. Thank you. This is an announcement to the Nigerian head of delegations and speakers. Please, you are requested to be at the lounge for a meeting. Speakers and heads of delegations from Nigeria, you are requested to be at the lounge for a meeting. Thank you.
Oh,